Hey guys, it's Shannon from iHeartRadio Canada, joined by Ali, Gatie, and Massari. How are you guys?
Good,
What's
good. Thank
up?
you for having
Good.
us.
Yeah, Massari, for you, it's early. What time did you say it is? Five something?
It's 5:45 a.m. Yeah, I decided to stay up for this because this really means a lot to me and really miss the Canadian fans and we just wanted to get a chance to talk to you guys, so we stayed up.
Odd.
Hmm.
I appreciate that. I don't think I could ever get up that early. So,
Yeah.
Right.
but we are up for a very important reason. You guys have the song "I See the Dream," which is so important, and the song is so beautiful. So, tell me a little bit about how you two first got connected. How did you two meet each other?
Ali and I are managed by Sal. My longtime friend, someone who's been managing me throughout my whole career. We actually met one day at Sal's house, and we got to talking a little bit. And I absolutely appreciated and respected Ali's energy right off the bat. Very genuine. When the song sort of started coming around and we spoke about it, he was extremely open to the idea, knowing that it was something that it was for a greater cause, something that was bigger than ourselves, a message to the world, a message of peace. And I was just very honored that he agreed to be a part of it. And I think to me personally, his part is my favorite part of the song. So it's like that was perfect. And I think we were able to put something very beautiful together, especially in a time that the world is going through such a rough time.
Totally. How did you guys come up with the concept for "I See the Dream"? Why that specific?
Well, so Masari had started the song, I think, a couple of years ago, right? Like he had this idea. I don't know if he had the title, but he had this idea for a song, and he
Mm.
presented to me kind of I think late summer, maybe like definitely COVID was a thing. I know that, and so we started working on it. I was doing ideas, and I really wanted to. It was such a cool idea of a song that I wanted to come correct. It wasn't like a normal song where you could just write a verse, or it's like there's a message he's trying to portray, and so he kind of had his idea. Maybe he can speak on how that started. But when it came to me, it was, there was some stuff going on in the Middle East, and I think his idea had kind of developed into this new thing. Black Lives Matter was like a big movement was happening. The George Floyd thing was happening. There was so many things we wanted to speak about, and so that's kind of when I came in, and I guess I kind of gave the song a little new energy because there was new things happening. But Masari can speak about how kind of it was formed in the beginning stages, if you want, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like especially a lot of people know the story of when I immigrated from Lebanon at a very young age, having to live through the civil war for 10 years. It was excruciating. It was something that never left me. It's almost like these types of songs are always with you when you go through these types of things in your life. I felt like especially this year, it was something that needed to be put out. I felt like a lot of people really needed just a glimpse of hope, something to smile about, someone to actually stand up and say that I feel your pain. We're here with you. Let's all try to make a difference. If all of us really join hands and take the initiative, there's such a big change that can happen. And that's really what inspired the song.
Yeah. How much does the tie to, because I know you guys both have a lot of Middle Eastern connections, how much does that tie and influence into not only your songwriting, but your desire to help out?
I feel that, especially for me and Ali being from that part of the world and having to immigrate because of the war,
Mhm.
it has definitely taken such a toll on our conscious, our subconscious. The fact that we've been able to succeed in America and North America and all over the world, and we've become somewhat of an example to the youth that's over there. And I mean, I would love for Ali to take it from here and just kind of like experience, that let people know the experience that he had with that.
Yeah, I mean, like the cool thing about us is like he kind of experienced like a different. He had different struggles than I did, but the both of them were kind of still related. So like even we speak. He tells me like to him it's crazy to see a Middle Eastern kid like making pop music and getting on the charts and doing the things that he was trying to do early on, and obviously he did do because it's much easier now because the world's a lot more open now. People are not as ignorant as I don't use the word racist, but people are just more open minded and they're more accepting. But when Masari was starting, it wasn't like that. I think 9/11 probably had a big toll on him. But people just didn't have the right opinions of what like a Middle Eastern or Muslim or even immigrant person is. And so for me coming in, like I grew up in Canada most of my life, and Canada's dope. I didn't really experience much racism. There was here and there stuff, but overall I had a good life because my parents sacrificed for me. But it was like, how do I break this kind of stigma of like a kid named Ali doesn't have to be related to like a terrorist or like a weird kind of stigma. And so it was dope to kind of, full circle link up with someone like Massari, who kind of started that journey, kind of passed me the torch, and I'm trying to, open up the doors for more kids, hopefully, not just Arab kids, just any kid who's maybe a minority.
Yeah, and that's so great. And you are both such great examples of that. So it's so good to see that.
Thank you.
That's sweet.
Thank you.
How did it feel, or what was it like for you guys to have that conversation with your parents then, to be like, okay, I want to do music full time, and I know after you dropped out of university, what was that conversation like with the parents?
It was tough. It was tough because like we're saying, like my parents, for example, immigrated, to Canada for like a better future, so we can all go to school, get it's a safer country, there's more opportunities, and so for me to come, and especially to my dad, I think he kind of took it as like a slap in the face at first when I was like, oh, I'm leaving school. Because to him, it's like, okay, I sacrificed so much. I did all this, they went through wars and struggles and poverty and giving up a whole life, new language, new job, for their son to be like, you know what, I don't care. Like, that's how they took it, at least. Or it's like, I'm just going to do my own thing. This is what I want to do. But to me, it was always like, I saw it as like, no, this is the means into which I can like provide for my family and like give us that better life. But my parents obviously didn't understand the music industry. But early on, I knew like I believed in myself, and I knew like, I was like, if I work really hard, like there's not anyone like me out there. And so if I can really build my name, people will respect me. There's a lot of kids who are like me, like not just in the Middle East, but there's a lot of, immigrants around the world, in America and in Canada. And that community really helped me. And, I have such a big fan base now that's like all over the world. It's cool. And, I get to help out my parents, provide for them. And so it came full circle. Now they understand that my whole plan wasn't to like betray them. It was really to help provide for them, because, just, and so, now they understand. But it was tough. It was tough. And I'm sure it was tough for Massari too.
Yeah.
For me, I've always been very active with a lot of the things that are happening in the world, especially, for instance, not too long ago, about a year ago or so, we had a disaster take place in Lebanon, a major explosion in Beirut that took out half of the city. We immediately partnered up with the Global Citizen. We did the Global Aid for Lebanon. We raised almost $2 million. That was directly going to the Lebanese Red Cross, the Cancer Center for Children, and of course WFP. And that's where the relationship with the United Nations and the WFP started kind of flourishing from there. We felt that anytime that there's things that have been happening in the world, wherever they may be, we've always really tried to be basically the example of what Canada stands for. And this is what makes me so proud to be a Lebanese Canadian, because Canada has always stood for the peacekeepers, has always been the example of what the world could and should be like. We live among each other in Canada from all walks of life, and we have built such a beautiful culture. We have been able to bring the fusion of all these different cultures together, and whether it's the food or the music or the entertainment, and we live together side by side. We respect each other's differences and similarities. And I feel like that is something that I wouldn't have been able to learn if I hadn't been a Canadian citizen, if I hadn't lived in a beautiful country like Canada, a country that saved my life, that took me out of a civil war and gave me a second chance and gave me a voice and gave me the opportunity. It was a struggle. A lot of people did not want us to be able to have the freedom to express what we had on our mind, because they didn't realize how much love there was within us, and culturally from the Middle East, how much love there is within that culture that we wanted to spread to the world.
Does that almost make you want to like show it even more because you just want to prove those people wrong?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, crazy. What did you guys learn a lot about, like the World Food Program and everything that you were involved in with this song? How much did you learn about them and these organizations with the creation of this song?
Honestly, I think like for me, what was most important is just kind of realizing that like there's some things that you do that are just kind of bigger than you. And so like, me and Massari, we could have probably got like a GoFundMe link and raised some money, and we would have chose like, okay, maybe like, but like these people do this for a living. Like, the same way I wake up and I just think about making songs, writing songs. And if you ask me to like build like a bed or something, I have no idea what I'm doing, So like these guys, this is what they do, like this is literally what they do. They devote their whole life to helping people in need. There's no money, there's no politics, there's no weird, and so it came to that point where like we have the song part and we have the message and we have the idea, but let's go partner up with someone who knows exactly what they're doing. So when we tell people, oh, the profits go to this, or we're raising money for this, it's not like, what's Ali and Massari going to do with the money? It's like, no, this is what they do. They just won the Nobel Peace Prize. Like they're clearly doing good work. And so It was just cool to see, like, honestly, it kind of reminded me to like be more grateful and be more thankful, to be like, okay, like they're doing so many good things in the world, and like we could easily get involved and help them, but sometimes we kind of forget to like help. And it kind of reminded me now to be like, just be more active in general, not just with this song, but in kind of all aspects of my life.
And I feel like that's a good reminder for people like myself as well to like do something, because you can do something about it. But what would you guys say is something like someone like myself can do now in order to help?
There's so many different programs, especially, for instance, Ali and I are going to, on our path to becoming ambassadors for that whole region, United Nation WFP ambassadors to the whole region and most of the world. We've already begun projects everywhere from here in LA, even in Brazil, and especially in the Middle East. Our partnership with WFP has allowed us to be able to, the legitimacy of a nonprofit organization at that level has brought some the seriousness behind the project. And we can call it a song, but as Ali said, it is much bigger than a record. It's bigger than just a song. This is sort of a message of how two people can begin a spark that lights a flame that leads everybody towards a certain direction of peace. People like yourself are able to contribute by sometimes even donating as little as $5 to $50 to $100, whatever it may be. You don't understand how much that changes a person's life, especially when you're giving it to someone like the WFP, an organization who is very well off and is not counting on that money. They actually are in business and making sure that the people on the ground are the ones that are getting that money. That was a big concern for us because a lot of governments, with all due respect, in that part of the world seem to be very corrupt. And the money doesn't necessarily always get to the people. So we wanted to team up with the best of the best. So they did not have any strings attached or tied to government personnel, but they were their own entity who was backed by the United Nations. So I felt like that was the smartest route to take in order for us to be taken seriously and for us to feel so good about ourselves that we are actually making a difference on the ground to these families who are in need.
Yeah. And it's so great to see that you guys are making a difference. So thank you so much for this. And I do agree. I feel like it's so much more of a song. I feel like this is like turning into a movement. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. We have some of these murals like the one behind me that are going up all over the world. I had just posted on Instagram. We have some in Brazil, other ones here in Los Angeles, in Iraq, in Beirut, in London. So there's so many people that are getting behind this. They feel like this is becoming like a symbol of hope, a symbol of peace. And it's bringing smiles to a lot of people's faces. I've had people sending me videos of just legitimately crying, feeling like finally someone is speaking on their behalf. We're speaking on behalf of those whose voices cannot be heard.
Yeah, amazing. Thank you guys so much for taking the time today. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Thank you for having us.
You can go to bed now.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Awesome.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate you.
Thanks, guys. So
Have a blessed day. Thank you. Bye-bye.